safety needs are very important needs that an employee should meet in order for him or her to feel motivated or to feel satisfied. Because even if, for example, you are working in a coal mine, and we are very aware that we are all aware that working in a coal mine is dangerous. So even if you can feed your family 3 times a day, you can give them shelter, you can give them clothing, but the fact that your life is at risk, and anytime anything bad can happen to you, um, so that makes you feel that um, this job would not make me feel safe at all. And as a result, you would not feel motivated to work, and you would be unsatisfied because your safety is at risk. And it is very important that an employee is safe in his workplace or in her workplace. And later on, safety needs have been expanded into psychological safety and physical safety. So when we say psychological safety, this refers to job security. So a job that is secure can also make us feel safe. Because imagine if you are working, if you are if you have permanent job, and if you have permanent job, then it would somehow ease the anxiety being caused by financial problems, because you're aware that every month you would be getting salary, and that makes us feel safe. That makes an employee feel safe from being terminated. And after the safety needs, the other type of needs that an employee should meet in order for him to feel satisfied and motivated are the social needs. So when I say social needs, these are the needs pertaining to our need to socialize with other people, to communicate with other people, to interact with other people, and to relate with other people. And by meeting these needs, we can feel motivated and satisfied in a work environment. And and also, when when employees are when employees' social needs are being met, they would feel that they are loved, that they are special, and that they are being valued. And also, and that companies or employers can help their employees meet these social needs by allowing them or letting them to chit chat or to socialize with their coworkers in the cafeterias or in the lounge, and also by holding parties, or by having um, sports fest in whenever there would be an event in a company, or family picnics of the family members of the employees. So that's the social needs. Next one is the ego, or the ego needs. So when we say ego needs, these pertains to our need to be recognized and our need to be successful. So these ego needs can be fulfilled, or can be met by recognizing or by appreciating the efforts and hard works of employees. And when and of course, if we are, if you are being recognized or being appreciated, we would also feel motivated and satisfied, because that signifies that our hard works and efforts are being valued. And the last type of need, and probably the most important type of need that employees should strive to meet, are the self-actualization needs. So self-actualization needs revolve on the concept of be all that you can be. Because for someone who strives to become the better version of himself or herself, meeting the 4 other types of needs is just enough. Because a person who wants to achieve or wants to have self-actualization needs would really do her best, or his best to reach his potential in every task. And also, meeting these self-actualization needs is easy, especially for those people like policemen, teachers, militaries, and seamen, because they can be promoted, especially if they do their best in their job, and especially if they exert so much effort in their job. However, meeting self-actualization needs is hard for those people whose jobs are just constant. 24/7 they are doing, they are welding, they are selling street foods, so it is hard for them to meet these self-actualization needs. And however, even though most companies that we know today utilize the Maslow's needs hierarchy theory, there were still technical problems that were seen in that theory, and that will lead us to the evaluation of Maslow's theory. So, although Maslow's needs theory makes good intuitive sense and has always been popular with managers and marketing analysts, it lost popularity with academicians in the 1970s before making a resurgence in the new millennium. So there were three technical problems that were seen in that theory. And the first one is that the first concern was that Maslow's 5 levels may be too many and that there are actually only 2 or 3 levels. So the second one, some people do not progress up the hierarchy as Maslow suggests they do. That is, most people move up from the basic biological needs level to safety needs to social needs and so on. So the second technical problem tells us that the Maslow's needs hierarchy theory does not happen all the time, because especially in the case of policemen and militaries, because they can never be their safety needs can never be satisfied. Can never be satisfied or can be fulfilled because their safety is not guaranteed due to the nature of their jobs. And they can, well, even if they can never be satisfied, their safety needs can never be satisfied, but they can skip that level. They can be their ego needs can be satisfied due to rewards and recognitions, and they can also achieve the self-actualization needs because they can also be promoted and they handle different situations and different people. So in that sense, they can really reach their potential in every task that they do. And the last technical problem is that the theory predicts that once the needs at one level are satisfied, the next needs level should become the most important. So those were the three technical problems that were seen in the Maslow's needs hierarchy theory. So next up, even though Maslow's theory has not been supported by research, it may still be useful. Of course, some of the theory's specific assertions may not be true, but it still provides guidelines that organizations can follow to increase motivation and satisfaction. So providing recognition, enrichment, and a safe workplace does increase employee motivation. The validity of this recommendation is probably why Maslow's theory still is widely used by human resources professionals, even though it is not popular with academicians and researchers who prefer more complicated models. So we have here a situation which some of the principles of Maslow's in his needs hierarchy theory can be applied. So let's read first the situation. So a situation at a major university provides an example of how Maslow's general principles can be used. After years of increasing enrollment and prestige, a scandal at the university caused a rapid decline in enrollment, financial backing, and staff morale. To fix these problems, a new president was hired. His first acts were to announce a Spirit Day each Friday on which employees could dress casually and increase emphasis on diversity issues, and his intention to start a new sports team. Employee satisfaction and motivation continued to drop. Faculty left in great numbers, and millions of dollars were cut from the budget. What went wrong? Among many things, the president's proposals were aimed at Maslow's level 3 and above, whereas employees' needs were at level 2. That is, will this university survive? And will I still have a job next year? So, as you can see in the situation, skipping those two basic levels is really hard, especially in an organization, and especially in the case of the sample situation. because the new president, uh, his first acts were to announce a spirit day. And if you can if you can recall, the root of the problem, or the root of the negative happenings that happened in that university, was a scandal. So just so allowing the students to wear whatever they want to, or allowing them to do whatever they want to do, would make the situation even worse, because who knows what the students will do, who knows what the students will try, will wear. And we can never escape the fact that even if you are dressed in a conservative way, there are still other people who would lust over you. So that's basically a wrong move. That's basically the wrong move of the president, to have a spirit day. So moving on to the next slide. So as you can see, there are 5 pictures on your screen, and these pictures are just proof that most of the companies that we know today are really applying Abraham Maslow's principles, especially his principles on his needs hierarchy theory. So in the first picture, you can see that this is Nescafe's way of recognizing their employees. So in this picture, you can see that the ego needs are being met. In the second picture, are the company, or our Deli Bread really values their employees, because they have set an exclusive date for their employees to be vaccinated. The third picture, as you can, if it is not clear to you, I will just read. It is during the Altura Small Christmas party in 2019. So in this, the social needs of employees are being met, and also in the last 2 pictures, the fourth picture is the venue of a Christmas party, and the fifth picture shows the happy faces of employees under USSC. So there's my sister there. They went to Manila in the year 2008 to have their Christmas party. So USSC really values the social needs of their employees, because they were having the Christmas party outside Bohol, and according to my sister, they were really having fun that night, and they really enjoyed it, and they're also thankful to the company. Moving on, there is another theory, which is the ERG theory, which was formulated by Clayton Alderfer. So in ERG theory, there are only 3 major types of needs, and these are the existence needs, relatedness needs, and growth needs. So unlike the Maslow's needs hierarchy theory, there were 5, and here there are only 3. And the first two type of needs are being generalized into existence needs. The third and the fourth type of needs are being generalized into relatedness needs, while the fourth and the fifth type of needs are generalized into growth needs. So aside from the number of type of needs, the major difference between Maslow's theory and ERG theory is that Alderfer suggested that a person can skip levels. By allowing for such movement, Alderfer has removed one of the biggest problems with Maslow's theory. So in his theory, he states that a person can skip levels, and Maslow's principles can never be applied all the time due to the nature of the employee's job. So for example, if let's just use the previous example that I used previously a while ago. So in the case of those policemen and military, so their safety needs are not really guaranteed. So even if their safety needs can never be satisfied, because their safety is their life is at risk. They can still skip that level, and they can still achieve, or they can still have the ego needs, and the self-actualization needs. So Alderfer's theory explains why a higher level need sometimes does not become more important once a lower level need has been satisfied. Alderfer believes that for jobs in many organizations, advancement to the next level is not possible because of such factors as company policy or nature of the job. So thus the path to the next level is blocked, and the employee becomes frustrated and places more importance on the previous level. Perhaps that is why some unions demand more money and benefits for their members rather than job enrichment. And the last theory, which details on the which details I mean which details the job, the needs, the values of the employees, is Frederick Herzberg's two-factor theory. So Herzberg, 1966, believed that job-related factors could be divided into two categories: hygiene factors and motivators. Thus, the name of the theory is two-factor theory. So when we say hygiene factors, these are the elements that that are not related. That are related with the job, but does not involve the job itself. So the hygiene factors that Frederick Herzberg's identified are pay, security, coworkers, working conditions, company policy, work schedules, and supervisors. So why can we say that pay is not is a hygiene factor? It is because pay is the result of your job, and it does not involve the job itself. So it is the result of your of the effort that you have exerted in your job. And on the other hand, there are motivators. So motivators are the elements that are job related with your job, and also includes the job itself. So these motivators are growth, challenge, responsibility, stimulation, variety, independence, achievement, control, and interesting work. So if your goal is to become a better person, if your goal is to have personal growth, that becomes your motivation to work well, to perform your tasks and duties effectively. And also, if you are interested in your work, then you will be more motivated and satisfied with your work. So that's why these elements are called motivators, because these include the work itself. And Herzberg believes that hygiene factors are necessary but not sufficient for job satisfaction and motivation. That is, if a hygiene factor is not present at an adequate level, example, the pay is too low, the employee will be dissatisfied and less motivated. But if all hygiene factors are represented adequately, the employee's level of satisfaction and motivation will only be neutral. Only the presence of both motivators and hygiene factors can bring job satisfaction and motivation. So in Herzberg theory, he clarifies that you can never be motivated or you can never be satisfied if only the hygiene factors are present and the motivators are absent. So both the hygiene factors and motivators must be present. They go hand in hand in order for an employee to really feel motivated and satisfied. So that's all for my report, and I hope you have learned something. And thank you so much for watching and listening.